Hey y'all, thank you for joining me on another video. Um, I've been MIA because a lot has been going on. For starters, I think I mentioned in a previous video, right before Christmas, my previous landlord had told me, well, gave me a notice that he's ending the lease, wants me out, 30-day notice. 5 days before Christmas. Well, excuse me. Trying to find a place has been ridiculous because rent is through the roof. And trying to find a place that didn't look at credit ratings, because my credit's shot right now, that's a long story. It's been an odyssey. Well, I finally get a place and get a move-in date. Moved in day before yesterday on Valentine's Day, so that was kind of fitting. And today it snowed like crazy. We were only supposed to get maybe 2 to 4 inches because the system was supposed to go mostly south of us. The farther south in the state, the more snow. Nope. We got about 8 inches of snow. So, yeah, we were stuck in today. I had no work. I caught up on my documentation, and so it's been an interesting day. But I had to go out because I was getting cabin fever by this evening or late afternoon. So I braved the snow, fell in it, but I got myself up without an issue, even with my weak knees, and started my van, was getting ready to go, and I had had enough momentum in the driveway that I was going to be able to go into the street. Well, a car was coming, so I had to stop. Lost all momentum. Thankfully, a Good Samaritan happened to see my situation and helped get the snow away from my front tires, and rocking it back and forth, I was able to get out. And I did what I was going to do. I went to the grocery store real quick to get a few things and came back. But this was a win for me. For starters, my ex, when we were together, had, oh my gosh, flyaway hair. He had me convinced that that I always needed help, that if he wasn't around, I wasn't getting around. And he had me convinced that I wasn't a good driver, that I could definitely not drive well in the snow. Whenever I had to go to work, this is when we were together, and he didn't feel like driving me to work, he would let me drive. And he would tell me all these horrible stories. Remember, break early. People don't care about the weather, crashes happen. I saw people stuck in here. They're scaring the bejeebers out of me. So it was a form of control. So I wouldn't get so comfortable with driving in the snow. I mean, we're in the Midwest. It's gonna snow. That I would always need him. I mean, I realize that now. I didn't realize that then. Well, I did today. I got out of the driveway and it was packed with snow. Like I said, it snowed about 8 inches. And yeah, a Good Samaritan helped me get out. And I believe God sent him there because he was already across the street and he happened to see me. He backed up, went into a side street, came across the street, across the median, to come get me and help me out. Um, so, but I did it. I mean, with the help of the Good Samaritan, but even without the help, I would have probably figured it out. And it felt good. Um, I'm now in my new place, as you can see by the different, um, my wall. It's a little sparse right now. I haven't unpacked everything, so the walls are kind of bare. But this is the first place I've ever had all of my own. And I'm now an empty nester because my youngest has moved out and moved in to a place with two other roommates. And I've never lived totally alone. I mean, I moved from my parents' home to my apartment where I shared with my ex. I went from my parents' home to being married in a home with my then husband. And I've never been by myself because after I had called the cops on my ex and had him removed, I still had my youngest son with me because he was 18 at the time. And so it's an adjustment. Not too bad. I kind of like being in, alone, where I can walk around and just enjoy the quiet and know that this is mine. It's not something I shared with my ex. It was not something that was once in both of our names and now just in mine, like my previous apartment. This is mine, only in my name. And it's an apartment I wanted. It's actually an older home that was converted into two apartments. It's the house was built, oh gosh, probably about mid 1940s, I'm guessing, maybe early 50s. And it was converted into two apartments. I have a lower level and the basement, and then there's an upper apartment. And this is something I've wanted. Uh, uh, Obviously, I've always wanted to. Optimally, I wanted to rent a whole house to myself, but I can't afford that kind of rent. And this is an older home with all the original woodwork, a huge porch, which is my favorite. Um, I'm a porch monkey. 3 seasons out of the year, if there's a chair or something I could sit in on a porch, I'm on a porch. In fact, today, even with the snow and the cold, had I had a comfy chair to sit on, I probably would have sat outside for a little while, bundled up. But it's mine. It's something I've wanted, and I got it. And lately I've been looking at all the milestones because there's 3 traumaversaries that come up this time of year: January, February, and March. The one in March is my Independence Day, March 10th. Well, so because of all the traumaversaries coming up, and on top of that, with my youngest getting ready to move out and trying to find a place and worried about that, my body was like reacting to the upheaval. So I couldn't see, I didn't feel like I had really healed. My body was feeling almost as if I was at square one. And then when I got the place, when I was confirmed, yes, you've been approved, pay the deposit and we'll hold it. That was amazing. It was like my body just relaxed. And I was starting to be able to see how far I've really come. Have I arrived? No. Am I completely healed? Oh, heck no. Some days I don't think I'm healed at all. I don't feel like it. But there's so many milestones that I've gone through in the past 2.5 months that it's like, yeah, I've progressed a lot. Yes, my neighbor has a dog next door, so that's what you probably hear. Um, you know, I was talking to a friend who has gone through similar things to what I've gone through. And so, of course, it's nice to talk to someone who really gets it. And I told her, I said, I don't even feel like I feel like I'm back at square one. And she says, Penny, are you kidding me? In just a year that I've known you, because we go to church together, in just a year that I've known you, I can see such a huge progress. You are very self-aware. When a trigger comes up, you are able to figure it out where it came from pretty quickly. And because you can figure it out pretty quickly where it's coming from, that helps you move farther from it, move through it pretty quick. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. I've been pretty decently self-aware, at least where my body's concerned in reactions and stuff. And she's pointing out all these things that I've done in just the years that we've known each other. And it's like, yeah, I guess so, huh? And it's easy to get blinded when you're going through something like I was, and you're scared because this is happening or this is happening, and you're focused on that. So of course your body's reacting because it's triggering a past trauma, and so you don't know what to do, where to go, how to act, and so you don't see it. But that's when you need to focus on the little things the most. Even the smallest of victories is still a victory. And yeah, I just moved in 2 days ago, and nightmares are starting again. But I'm able to regulate myself through those nightmares now. There was a time when those nightmares put me in a tailspin for a majority of the day, because I have some very realistic nightmares. They're almost like flashbacks. But when I woke up yesterday and today from the nightmares, I was able to immediately get myself mainly regulated, reminding myself, okay, that's not the situation now. You are safe. That's never going to happen again. And reminding myself of what is real now, as opposed to what was real and is no longer relevant. And or no longer real. And that is a huge milestone. And today I had a really tough nightmare. I was able to regulate myself and get myself grounded, but my adrenaline was stuck on fight or flight, I guess. It was definitely stuck in high mode. And I'm trying to sit here to catch up on my documentation since I had a snow day where all visits at work were canceled. We were told just stay home. And it was, I'm trying to concentrate, and I'm just literally, I feel like my insides are doing like this. So I did something different today. I have a Roku stick. I put on my Roku, well, my TV, and accessed my Spotify music, put it on. One of the playlists I listen to is Neon Cowgirl. It's a hokey name, but it's some, boot kicking music, as I call it. And I just started moving to the music, kind of dancing. What I do is not necessarily considered dancing, but I was moving to the beat and getting my body moving. And it helped. It started getting those endorphins running and my mood getting better. And I didn't do a whole lot. I just moved a little bit just to get some rhythm going. Next thing you know, I'm sitting at my desk typing away at the documents. And it's like, oh wow. I literally sat at this desk for quite a few hours catching up on all 6 documents that I was behind on. And it felt good because there was a time that I'd have been awash all day. I'd have had to go back to bed, pull the covers over my head, wrap myself like a cocoon, and just check out. But I got stuff done. And then I also got some unpacking done. My kitchen is almost completely unpacked. And I even got some of my bedroom unpacked. So I was productive all around, even though I was stuck home all day. And then I was able to get out, go to the store, come back, all on my own. I mean, I'm able to rely on just myself. Obviously, I rely on God. But I was able to rely on myself because for so long, I had always relied on Him. Like, oh, I need His help. He'll do it. I mean, even in the move, when we've moved before, yeah, I was the one that did most of the packing and the arranging, getting the place, the whole bit. But come moving day, He was the one that helped with the move because I can't really lift the boxes too much. And He was the one that would drive the moving truck. Well, guess who drove the moving truck this time? This girl right here. And yeah, it was the smallest one they had, like the 10-footer, because I didn't need a whole lot. In fact, the 10-footer, I still had plenty of room for had I had more stuff. And I drove it. I even backed it up into the driveway, up against the back entrance of my place so it would be closer to the door. And I did it. That is something I never thought I would ever be able to do. I mean, my son my oldest son said that I sounded pretty confident when he asked if I could drive it, and I said, "Oh yeah," and I was until I walked up to that truck. And little old short me, I'm 5'4", barely 5'4", as if I stand real tall. And I see this big 10-foot truck. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Trying to pull myself up into that truck was interesting, but I did it, and I drove it. And so I guess the takeaway from this is when you're going through something and you can't see how far you've come, or you feel like you're back at square one, start going over all the things you've done, even if it's little things. Like with me today, getting out of the driveway, a snow-filled driveway, all on my own, with only minor help from a good Samaritan. That may sound like a small victory for anyone else, but for me it was great. And I kept control of my van the whole time, because I have a minivan. I kept control of that van the whole time, even when it was swaying back and forth, with the snow and everything, trying to get out of the driveway. And even on the streets were not the best because we got way more snow than was expected. But I still navigated the streets. And that is a huge win for me. Like I said, for anybody else it might not have been. But for me it was. Because I did it. I proved to myself that I could do it. That I didn't need him. I didn't need the help of any man, because that's the thing with me. Because of how old I am, and because of the culture I grew up in, I automatically rely on men to do the big stuff. Well, doggone it if I didn't do it on my own. So just remember, even the smallest of victories are big victories. Y'all have a good day. Stay blessed. Bye.